Previously on What School Didn't Teach Me.
Watching this, if I had the feedback loop, like if I had like hate comment, like if YouTube was a thing and I had hate, would I even still be doing what I'm doing? Probably not.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it that way.
This is What School Didn't Teach Me, a podcast meant to build community on all the things school didn't prepare you for. Hi, I'm your host, Jasmine Camber, and class is in session.
But I think that's good insight. Like the fact that I didn't have that feedback
Yeah.
at that time was probably great because I'm sure the
Was
beats are
probably better
trash.
for
You
you.
know, like the beats are trash. You know, they're garbage. But luckily I didn't have like
Anyone to tell you why you shouldn't.
the whole world, having access to just tell you that, like, either A, tell you this is bad, thumbs down, or B, just like not caring about it. That
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have felt good either.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's tough out here.
Yeah. On that same note, how do you feel like 13-year-old you would feel about what you are producing now? Do you think he would even like
Absolutely
believe
mind
it?
blown. Absolutely mind blown. And just the life that I'm living compared to the life I grew up in. I think about it all the time, man. Like I'm like these are not like it's helpful to zoom out because like when you're dealing with like issues or problems, or you're trying to negotiate this contract, and these people are frankly just being jerks about stuff, and this company is this, and they look. It's just like
Yeah.
these are good problems to have, man.
Yeah.
Like how blessed am I to have these problems, challenges to try to figure out. Um, and as far as the music goes, I think I've done a really good job at just retaining my voice and not letting it get lost in the sauce or
Yeah.
push this way or push that way. I think I do like part of my artistic process because I put the art first is that like I always start like the same way then. It's like I just kind of starts with like just kind of playing, like just
Mhm.
experiment. This would be fun. Wouldn't it be crazy if we did this or this? I think the show you were talking about with Tyler Johnson is like
Yeah.
I just and that's I kind of do like a curator role for the South Side sessions.
Mhm.
But then I orchestrate on the second half. But that one is like part of the experiment kind of playing thing was like, all right, we hadn't had a rapper yet for the South Side
Yes.
sessions. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? It's like, oh, we're gonna put Barry Sachs with a female rapper so that like he can kind of do like what the 808s would do. And it was just an experiment. It's like, will it before it happened? It was like, will it work? No idea.
Yeah. It
But
worked.
like,
It
thank you. But I kind of think about like I still approach it with that same like childlike play.
Yeah.
It's another thing I talk to, I'm just gonna be an old man on here, but it's another thing I
It's
talk to
okay.
like the young guys about is that like we spent when I was learning how to make music, we didn't have like YouTube tutorials, and so it's like I want to know like, hey,
Mm.
how does Lil Jon get his 808s like that, or the synths, or Dr. Dre do this? And so I had to just like open the things and just like experiment for like a really long time, and just kind of like, and in that process, it's like you learn a ton that wasn't originally what you set out for. This
Yeah.
kind of like peripheral knowledge,
Yeah.
and but now they just like uh Metro Boomin type beat.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
Metro Boomin 808 tutorial, and then it's like I don't know, and so I feel like they miss a lot of that like play.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, sorry, I keep looking down because I didn't say that part of my spiel. I write as people talk because when things are good, I really, really don't want to miss them because I want to circle back on them. Um I say that to say because I was writing. I remember you literally just posted a, well, not just because it was a couple weeks ago now, but you posted a video about like, chat gpt and like the danger of kind of losing original art. And I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, like I did not think about, I thought about chat gpt replacing original thought but not original creativity. And as you are talking about the fact that you all did not have, YouTube tutorials, you all literally had to go out and look for it yourself, like go out and try to recreate for yourself. I feel like my generation has a huge problem with perfection, and
Hmm.
not like I don't know how to word it. Like we have a huge problem with perfection, as in if what I have does not come out how the other person's thing came out, then it was wrong. And that does not leave a lot of room for, like you said, play. It also does not leave a lot of room for creativity and exploration. Like i- if I am I'm trying to think of something that I would actually do, and I'm trying not to use makeup as an example. But if I was making a beat, right? If I am no, I got to use a better example cuz I know nothing about music. I know.
You can use makeup. Use what's natural to you. It's
All
fine.
right. Okay. If I am doing a new look and I have this picture, okay, this is my reference. This is what I would like to achieve. But I have no video on how to achieve this look. Maybe my look is like the bright under eye. I have no idea how to achieve that. Now I have to use these lighter colors to try and like put them on my face to see if that is what I'm going for. Well, what if I find a color that is not exactly like the picture, but it's what I like? It doesn't leave that fear of perfection, does not leave a lot of room for, oh, okay, this may not be the same as what they have, but it's what I like. It's what works better for me. Instead, we are trying to copy and imitate each other. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I always try to like I do try to like offer alternate ways of thinking to the young dogs, and I am critical of some things, but I also try to empathize. And one thing that I think is hugely different from like me as a kid and people who are coming up now or recently is that like everything is permanent. Like everything is public and everything is permanent.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking recently about like the death of club culture and these things, and it's like, okay, cool, when we were young it's like you'd go out and have fun and stuff. It's like now everything is live. Like imagine like and like so in your
Yes.
example it's like, or like in my example is like so say those early beats that I was making, they don't exist. I don't know how to get them from when I was 13, but if I was coming up now, those would all be on SoundCloud and Spotify. Like we don't have,
Mm,
like I think about this with like who's killing it right now? Think about like Jay-Z or
okay.
something. It's like we don't have the raps of Jay-Z still kind of figuring it out, or like 50, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah, but the same way we have like other people's early like cringe stuff, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like when they're just figuring it out still and they're kind of
Yeah.
developing it. And I try to empathize a little bit because that is something that's new. There can be more pressure to be perfect if you know that this thing is going, like everybody you know is going to see this and it's
Yeah.
going to live online forever, and they're all going to be like, hey, you remember that time she went to that event and her makeup was looking busted? And we didn't necessarily have the same permanence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do empathize, with people younger than me in that aspect. But I think two things can be true.
Yeah. Yeah. And you probably empathize more than we do with each other, because I think the pressure, yes, yes, permanence is a thing. However, y- we can leave room for mistake. We can leave room for error and for growth. And I think, I don't know. I don't blame media or the advancement of media for our fear of perfection, but it's like we do have to be more kind to each other when we are figuring things out, whether it be music or whatever our craft is. Tell us about the music industry, the sector of music that you are in, and what it was like to kind of put yourself out there to be in the position you're in now.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard tons of stories about the music industry. Um, all of them are true. It's wicked.
Okay.
It's wicked. I also work in like TV and film now
Yes.
as a composer, and it's just always really interesting to see the differences between the two. They're both come with their own struggles,
Mhm.
um, but but they are different. So, and how is it like to put myself out there? It's a process. I was thinking today of actually like in thinking about this call and stuff, I was thinking about how like there's no real like you expect there to be some like arrival moment, or at least I did, like when I was like young, like you expect there to be like, haha, now you've done it. You're a full-time create. It never happens that way. Like there like you just kind of like, oh, I guess, oh, cool. I guess I am like a full-time musician now, a full-time composer, and it's like I don't know, like I kind of expected there to be, or like I wish I could point to like one specific
Mm,
decision. That's something I've always felt though, is like there's never gonna be. I kind of realized this in like early 20s, which really helped me a lot long term, I think, is I recognize I'm like, okay, there's never gonna be one event that's gonna change your life completely. Not that like big
yeah.
things can't happen or whatever, but like it's gonna be but even those big things are gonna be the result of like
Smaller decisions.
10 things that you did probably like made the better decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, so putting myself out there in music, it's just a long-term process. It's just like I would say I think most of it for me came from being like uh, you know, unpopular opinion in the music industry, but just being a decent person. I would do right by everybody. I pay everybody on time. And that's really like any of the musicians that play for me will always play for me again because I treat them right. I pay them on time. I do right by everybody. I treat everybody with respect. And I know for your audience, we don't have to say those things, but I do think it's important because like one, you don't need a reason to, but
Yeah.
two, also like I don't know. I'm always thinking like it like long term, man, and community and like you take care of people, and eventually to come back to you somehow. Um, and so much that has happened for me has been like word of mouth
Yeah.
and like uh you get big looks because it's like, okay, you did this project with this person a couple years back, or maybe for a few years y'all did. This person is ends up in a room that you're not in. How
Yeah.
do they speak about you? You
Yeah.
know? And even people that like you, I think that's an important distinction too. Sometimes even people that like you, they may not be able to recommend you in this situation because you are late,
Yeah.
you don't do the homework and prepare yourself in whatever way you might be. So I always, I do right by people. I try to do what I say I'm gonna do when I said I'm gonna do it. A big thing I think that helped me out in my career too, and helped me like kind of like speed run a lot of things, is I treat every project like it's the most important thing. Like I
Okay.
or like I'm never like, oh, this is just a little small indie film or something. I can just kind of, half do it
Yeah.
and pocket this little bread real quick. No, it's like if I do this, I'm knocking this out of the park. I'm treating every project like it's like, a blockbuster movie and every record like it's for Beyonce and everything, you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I try to just knock everything out the park every time.
Yeah.
Swing for the fences and yeah, and do right by people. And I really think that's like 85% of it.
Yeah.
And probably any creative industry, entrepreneurial industry
Hmm.
is just like do what you said you're gonna do when you said you're gonna do it. Treat every project as if like this is the first time. Like if somebody only saw this thing from me, would they be
What
like,
would they
yeah,
think?
I want to work with that guy?
Yeah.
Um, and then just keep doing that for a long time.
For a long time.
Rinse and repeat.
Okay. Where do you feel like you learned that level of integrity, especially if there are some people who don't have it, who don't necessarily have the same, not even work ethic, but the same outlook of, I have to show up at my best level every single time because that is who I am and that is what people deserve of me. Where do you think that came from?
I just want to say my community growing up, like, yeah, I think that's just how I was raised. Like, I think about like, you know, think about like my dad, my uncles, you know what I mean? Like, y- I think a lot of things have changed as far as like how we view um different aspects of life, now. But and it's a whole different world. Uh, the world that I came up in is a whole different environment and all these things. But like integrity, I think is just always been important to me. And I do remember um like a few years ago, like I journal a lot, like every day, and I try to like it helps me, it gives me time to like think through my thoughts and everything.
Yeah.
And I do remember specifically a few years back trying to decide like, okay, what do I value? What are my like what do I value, and what are my like most important values above all else? And integrity was what I decided. I was like, I want like, you know, that's something that's really important to me, and I want to decide that that's really important. That's something I want to keep
Yeah.
from how I came up, and make that a really important value to me. And but it's how do you give it to somebody? I think they got to decide, right? You can't like convince somebody. Um, I don't think you can persuade people to have integrity, but
Oh,
I
right.
think if they decide, then I think it's definitely achievable, and it starts small.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Tell us about some of your projects. So I know you were on Lady in the Lake. I watched Lady in the Lake. It was so good. And I am big on especially more suspenseful TVs and movies. I feel like people can agree that the music is really what makes the scene what it is. And across the board, yes, but specifically in like suspense. Like I have a special type of love for the music in suspenseful shows. And so the work you did on that show was very, very good. I enjoyed the show so much. So tell us about just the projects that you've been on, the shows and movies you've been on.
Thank you. Yeah, no, Lady in the Lake, that was a tough one.
Okay.
Well, because like there was a double strike. Hollywood had a double strike during the making of that.
Yeah.
And people listening who aren't in the know, basically there was a writer's strike and an actor's strike during the creation of the show. And they had already filmed it, which kind of like that kind of helped with the actors. But then in making a TV series, they do what's called ADR.
Okay.
It's like where they re-record some dialogue. They couldn't write or record those dialogues, so basically the show could never come out.
Okay.
And these double strikes lasted like 5 months. And but what that the environment that this created was that like they could just spend as much time as they wanted, like reworking the show. And so I was basically on the show for like a year, and that's not
Okay.
normally the case. You'd be as a composer, you're brought on afterwards, and you would like it's a few months. And this was also my first TV series, so it was like
Okay.
it's trial by fire, and it was tough, but I'm so proud of how it came out. Yeah, it was suspense. It's a lot of music.
Yes. It was really
And
good.
but it was cool because, like I said, I'm big on like you can't separate the people from the art, and so I worked it out so that I could record with South Side Symphony,
Oh
which
wow.
was amazing. 'Cause I'm like, if you
Yeah.
want it to sound like soul records a lot of time or jazz, and you want it to sound like late '60s black musicians, then we gonna have to use black musicians, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I that was really cool, and yeah, I'm just really proud of that music, and I think about like you know all it took to make it happen, and we came out with it, still came out with something that I feel really represents us in a cool way.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a really, really good show. I was
Thank you.
traumatized a little bit.
Yeah,
It was a good
it's
show.
it's intense. Um,
Yes. And it was me and my mom and we binged it. So we're like sitting there, eyes glued to the TV, like, what are we watching? And what happened to this woman? Oh my gosh, it was good. Okay.
So other TV film projects I've done, I did a film called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul.
Okay.
Uh,
Isn't that on Netflix?
Last I knew it was on Amazon, but I'm not sure where it's at right now. They kind of move movies around.
Okay.
Um, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, with Sterling K. Brown, and Regina, and it's like a dark comedy about like a mega church pastor that's trying to rebuild his church after a scandal.
Mhm.
That one was fun. There's not as much music in that one, but it was really fun to do. A fun like side story about that is that I am now engaged to be married to the writer director. Art Art will do that to you.
Oh,
Um,
and your fiance is so beautiful. She's so beautiful and
thank
she
you.
seems so sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Um, so that was a fun one to do, and we obviously got really close. And scored a movie called Once Again for the very first time. This is a cool, like interesting one. Um it because this one's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's really cool. It's like an experimental dance artistic film.
Okay.
And it's just beautiful. It's told through this like series of vignettes, but there's kind of a narrative through it, about like art as a battle and life as a battle. And it's written and directed by the director of Remember the Titans.
Okay.
Um, and he also wrote Now You See Me and co-wrote The Harder They Fall, which is like a Western that's super cool on Netflix.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, his name is Boaz Yakeen, and but there's like in this film, there's like dance battles, there's rap battles, there's like I wrote two original songs for this, which is cool. So like
Oh,
those are
nice.
usually different jobs, like score composer, that's like the under music or whatever, and then
Mhm.
there's like songs. But for this one, I got to write two songs as well, and then I got to make some beats for like the dance. But it's such an interesting and cool thing. One of the main dancer, he's was part of like the Alvin Ailey company for a really long
Oh,
time.
nice.
It's legit. It's choreographed by Rennie Harris. It's like a street dance legend.
Oh,
It's like a beautiful little film. The Another film I did was called Summer of Violence, written
okay.
directed by a black woman as well, called named Nikki Michaud. And I know I think that one's streaming now too. I think that
Okay.
was on Tubi. I think that was on Tubi, and then I think Once Again is on. I just think I like a lot of on-demand stuff. Like I know you can get it on Amazon Prime, but
Okay.
Summer of Violence is about like this specific summer in the '90s, where there was a lot of bad things happening, and but like it's told through this girl's perspective, who is like she wants to be a poet, and then she's dealing with like everything happening,
Oh,
and like her parents want her to go to law school and don't really care about the poetry thing,
yeah.
and there's a tumultuous relationship there.
That sounds
That
good.
musically, it was really fun to do because I challenged myself. It's an indie film, so I challenged myself to be like, okay, you're great at these like lush orchestral things. Like, can you do something like it just looks so beautiful, the movie, like the way Nikki shot it. It was one of the first things I said to her. I'm like, this looks beautiful. And so I just wanted to write something that was also intimate and beautiful. So
Yeah.
I used like flute and like piano and strings. To me, it kind of
Oh,
was like my like I was thinking about it like a black version of like the music that's in like slice of life anime.
yeah. Yeah.
That was another
Yeah.
fun one.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that one. I'm now once again for the very first time in Hunt for Jesus. I know for a fact I have seen those come up on my TV, but to know that you are a part of them, now I have to watch them. Oh wow, those sound like really really good projects. It sounds like you're on some really really good stuff. I mean, not it sounds like you are on some really really great stuff. Um, wow. I wanted to ask two things. One, is there anything specific that's been on your heart, on your mind, anything that you've been feeling like you've been wanting to share, but maybe have not had the not capacity, but maybe not have had the outlet to do so yet? Yeah.
I mean, for me, it goes week to week. Like I'm just constantly thinking, and I can't stop it. So there's always stuff on my mind every week. That's mostly what my talking videos are. It's just like, hey, this was on my heart this week. Um, Lately, I've been like just thinking about like in the whole idea of what this podcast is, like, what school didn't teach us is like I kind of wished that somebody would have told me that like being an adult just means that like part of being an adult means that like you're gonna have hard days, man. Like
Yeah.
like some days are just gonna be tough, and um that doesn't mean things aren't going to plan. That doesn't mean overall life is not great. Um but just some days you're gonna have to like mourn the trajectory that got you here and everybody you lost on the way and all these things. Like, um, I haven't thought it through enough. Like, it's literally like on my mind this morning, and I'm just kind of talking through it, and speaking in draft.
Yeah.
But like, it's something that's been on my mind today. It's just that like. I kind of wish somebody would have just warned me that, like, hey, part of being an adult is that, like, you're just gonna have some sad days sometimes. And it doesn't mean that, like, everything's not going to plan. It doesn't mean that like life's not great. But maybe it would have been nice to just not be blindsided by
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um so that's one thing I've been thinking about. Like that was kind of on my mind. It's like sometimes it's like even in the successes, even in these things, it's like you can't there's no such thing as a smooth life.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just think talking about it makes it like would have made it um like I said, you're not as blindsided by them. And then when those things do happen, if you know that that's just part of how it goes or whatever, you know what I mean? That it's like um they don't hit as hard, I guess.
Yeah. Did you used to think when you were younger, did you used to think like I would turn a certain age and then sadness would not necessarily be a problem?
No, it's more so I thought y y I thought you can win life.
Yeah.
Like if I just get this successful, it's gonna
Yeah.
fix everything. If I can make this much money, that's another one. Like
That's a
so like I
huge
grew up
one.
low income. If I can make enough money, then it's gonna fix everything. It's gonna fix everything in my family. It's gonna what I got to be sad about if you
Yeah.
got this figured out and if you got but
Yes.
I don't think I haven't made all that much money, but it's just like I don't think that there's really a number that it really works like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't make some of the struggles a lot easier for sure, but like I just think that I don't know, yeah, so I didn't, not that I thought like, okay, you'll never be sad again, but we kind of think that like, we kind of
Yeah.
think that like if I can get so successful that
Yes.
it's just gonna it will fix everything. And I would just like, if I was talking to my young self, I would say like, there's no such thing as a smooth life. No matter how successful you can't win enough for you to have just one forever. Like things are gonna, and that's okay. That's the main part. It's like, that's the main takeaway. It's just like, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
part of the game. And so just, you know, um, a win is still a win, and also just know that like uh this is always going to be part of it, or part of it, you know what I'm saying, like hopefully a small part.
Hopefully a small part, right? There will I like that. There will always be ebbs and flows. I my grandma, my Mima, that's what I call her. She would always tell my mom in talking about other people, she would always say like there's enough to go around. Because I think sometimes we look at people and we think, oh, they've got to figure out, oh, they're always happy, oh, nothing bad must ever happen to them, regardless of like their socioeconomic status, or where they are compared to where we are. And so my mom will always say like there's enough to go around, as in everybody's gonna have their ebbs and flows, everybody's gonna have their ups and downs, but you're going to have your ups, like there's enough room and enough love and enough favor going around where you'll have your ups and you'll have your downs. So that was good.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay, and then I always like to end with a quirky question to just kind of really like throw you into left field of what we were talking about.
I'm ready.
All right. If you could call anyone from heaven or anybody who is no longer here on this earth, and you had 15 minutes, who would you call? What would you ask? What would you talk about? Like get us in on that conversation.
I'm gonna not overthink it, and
Okay.
I'm gonna just go with the first person that came to mind. Because it's a fun hypothetical. I had a good friend that I grew up with named Damian Morgan, and think I would just call and talk junk with him for 15 minutes. And I don't know, male friendships. I would just call and crack jokes and talk about the times we fought and all the crazy
Oh my
things we did
gosh.
as kids that we shouldn't have been doing and risking our lives for no reason. And I think I would just call and just crack up and crack jokes on each other for 15 minutes. Questions. I don't know. I just, you know, be ready for me next time I see you,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Nah.
No questions, just spades. Okay.
Just fade. I love the guy, man. I love the guy. But yeah, I think that's the first one that comes to mind. I mean, there's other people like uh I had some really good mentors that I missed that are gone, and I just wish like one of them, Mike Cunningham. It's like, man, he always dreamed of like moving to LA and working in the film and TV
Mm.
stuff, and I wish he could see. And he was like part of my first like string studio sessions, and I used to like he would write his stuff by hand and then hire me to put it in the computer just to throw me a couple
Oh.
bucks and have me come, and so I think a lot about like I wish I could talk to him and he could just see what I'm doing. And so there's a ton of people, but the first one that came to mind I would say is probably Dame. And I also wish he could see me, see, because we came up together, and I wish he would just be like just mind blown, and
Yeah.
all the stuff I'm doing. And but it's hard to I didn't get to see the mid-30s version of him, so I don't know if he would have been more emotionally mature as well, or if we would still just be like
Yeah.
cracking jokes. And if that's how the it would manifest, it would be like, oh, you think you big now, oh, my man's out there, oh, Mr. Hollywood, like I could just see all that happening, and
Yeah.
I think if I had 15 minutes, I think that's probably what I would do.
Oh, that was good. That was a better answer than, I don't know what I was expecting, but that was a really really good response. Oh my
It was
goodness.
the first one that came to mind. I was like, I'm not gonna. Part of the fun of the kind of put you on the spot questions is if you don't overthink it or don't
Right.
say what you think people want to hear. You just give
Right.
the first thing that comes to mind, and that was the first thing that would come to mind. I would call Dame, and I would call him out his name.
Oh God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Call him out his name, asking
Call him
for a
out his name.
fade. The man just trying to, oh my goodness.
It's
That
all
is
love though.
funny.
He would do the same.
I'm sure they're all proud.
Male,
Seriously.
male friendships. They're very complicated.
You gotta love them. I will make sure to list southsidesymphony.org in the show notes so that everybody can go sign up for the email list, and then please tell them where they can find you on social media. I'm gonna put it in the show notes, but I want you to tell them.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm just at Marcus Norris. We also have at South Side Symphony. I've been really doing a lot of YouTube lately. I think it's just Marcus Norris Music, I think is the name. I think or my name on there is just Marcus Norris, but I think my little at thing is Marcus Norris Music, I think.
Okay.
I'll send you the link. But yeah, my website is marcusnorris.com and southsidesymphony.org. And if all else fails, all of my links to the other social media sites are on those too.
Okay. Well, I will make sure to put them all in the show notes so that the classmates can go, can get involved, can meet you and see the light that you are. Thank you again for being here, for sharing your wisdom and just sharing your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the lovely conversation. And please do send me those invites to those events you have coming up.
Yes, yes, I definitely will. I definitely will. Um, with that being said, classmates, now, if you're a new classmate and you like what you see and you've stayed the whole time, hello, like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody that you love, share with somebody who loves music, share with anybody, everybody, scream. Thank you, and I'll see y'all next week. Okay.